Everything you've been told about losing weight during menopause is wrong, and I can prove it. More cardio is not working. Eating less is not working. In fact, both of those things are making it worse, aren't they? See, I've had the same conversation with hundreds of Christian women over 40, and they're going through menopause. It all starts with the same thing. Matthew, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm eating less. I'm doing more cardio. And the weight, it just keeps showing up right here, right in my stomach. What used to work isn't working anymore. This is how I'm starting to think that this is just how my body is now, that it's hopeless that I'll never lose the weight. Listen to me. I've coached women through this for over 17 years. I've looked at their blood work. I've seen what's actually happening inside of their bodies. And I'm going to show you exactly why this is happening, what's really going on, and what you can do about it. Before we get started, let me tell you this. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And here's what the enemy wants you to believe in this season: that your body is broken, that you're past your prime, that it's too late, that this is just what happens now and you need to accept it. No, that's a lie. Your body was fearfully and wonderfully made, and that didn't expire at 40. Psalm 139 doesn't come with an age limit, but the truth is that your body is changing. It's not failing you, it's shifting. And the problem isn't actually the shift and the problem is that nobody prepared you for the shift and that nobody gave you the right tools. So you're trying to solve a new problem with an old tool that, in my opinion, was never a great tool to begin with. And here's something else that nobody's telling you. Menopause is a magnifying glass for whatever your life looked like before. If you spent years on restrictive diets, doing endless cardio with no actual focus on building muscle, living a high stress, go, go, go life without much sleep, you may have even gotten the look you wanted, but estrogen was filling in the gaps. It was holding up a system that was already under a tremendous amount of stress. Think of it like running a household on credit. Everything looks fine on the surface, but debt is building the whole time. Menopause is when the bill comes due. That's why it feels like your body failed you overnight. It didn't. The cracks were already there. Estrogen was just covering them up. That's why it feels like your body failed you overnight. It didn't. The cracks were already there. Estrogen was just covering them up. And if you were already eating an ultra processed diet, not exercising at all, menopause just exploded what was already in motion. That's not to shame you, it's to free you. Because once you understand this, you can stop blaming menopause and start building the foundation that you might have never had. And that is freeing because that's something that you can do when you partner with God and the right information. So let me walk you through what's actually happening. And I want you to hear me on this. This is not a flaw. This is a predictable shift that God designed in your body. It just requires a new strategy. As you enter perimenopause and menopause, your estrogen levels begin to decline. Now, most people think of estrogen as just a reproductive hormone, but estrogen does so much more than that. It actually helps you maintain your muscle mass. It helps regulate how and where your body stores fat. It protects your insulin sensitivity. It even affects your mood and your sleep. So when your estrogen drops, here's what's actually happening. First, you start losing muscle, and this is a big one. Muscle is your metabolic engine. It's what burns calories even at rest, even when you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. It's burning. Average woman loses roughly about 1% of her muscle mass every year after 30. It's called sarcopenia. During menopause, that drastically accelerates. Less muscle mass means a slower metabolism. So the same food you used to eat, the same portions, the same meals, the same everything now results in weight gain. Not because you're eating more, not because you're eating differently, but because you're burning less. Second, that estrogen drop makes your body more resistant to insulin. Think of insulin like a key. It unlocks your muscle cells so it can pull sugar and nutrients in for energy. But when you become insulin resistant, that key stops working. The sugar can't get into your muscles, so your body says, well, I'll just go ahead and store this as fat. And where does it go? Right here, right around your belly. So you're not crazy, you're not lazy, and you're not necessarily doing something wrong. Your body is actually responding to a biological shift the way that it was designed to. The problem is the strategy you're using. And this is where it gets frustrating because what does everybody tell you to do? Do more cardio, eat less, take this magic powder. That advice is making it worse. When you do excessive cardio, and I'm talking like 45 minutes on the elliptical machine, running all the time, burn boot camp, your body actually increases its cortisol. And cortisol is the stress hormone. You've heard a lot about it on the internet. Elevated cortisol makes insulin resistance even worse. So you're running harder and working out more, but storing more fat. You're on a hamster wheel that you didn't even know you were on. And when you eat less on top of that, your already slowing metabolism gets the signal to slow down even more. Your body thinks it's a famine, so it holds on to everything it can. You're stuck. You're exhausted, and you think it's your fault. It's not. You're just using the wrong tools for the job. Here's another layer that almost nobody talks about. And this is the part that changes everything for the women that I coach. During this hormonal shift, your body's demand for certain nutrients goes through the roof because it's changing, right? And if you're not getting those nutrients that you can only get from God food, your body starts sending signals. And those signals are the cravings that you're feeling, primarily sugar cravings, fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, night sweats. Most women think that's just menopause, but it's not. It's a nutritional deficiency. For example, magnesium. Over half of women in menopause are deficient in magnesium. And it's involved in over 300 processes in your body to include sleep, stress response, blood sugar regulation, muscle function. And when you're low in magnesium, you're tired, you're wired, you can't sleep, and your body is craving sugar. So if you're craving chocolate, probably means you're deficient in magnesium. And you're craving sugar because your body's desperate for energy because it's not getting in the cell, like we talked about earlier. Vitamin D is another huge one. Your vitamin D absorption drops as you age. Nobody told you that, right? Vitamin D is critical for bone mineral density, immune function, and your mood. Low vitamin D is linked to depression, weight gain, and increased inflammation. But the part that's really wild, B vitamins are your energy vitamins. They're essential for metabolism, literally converting food into fuel. When you're depleted in vitamin B, your body can't efficiently use the food that you're eating and turn it into energy. But remember, if you're already trying to starve yourself into losing weight, now you're deficient in vitamin B and the fuel it actually needs. Make sense? Protein. Man, this one is huge. Most women over 40 are not eating nearly enough protein. Studies show it's actually about 40% of what you need. Protein is the building block of muscle. You can't rebuild what you're losing without it. Your body is literally screaming to you for protein, and you're giving it a granola bar and a salad because you're trying to lose weight. Again, wrong tool for the job. This is why I always come back to God food. Food, he said in Genesis 9:3, whole eggs, lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. These foods are packed with the very nutrients that your body is screaming at you for. And when you feed your body those nutrients that God designed you to have and need, the cravings, especially the sugar cravings, the night sweats, the mood swings, start to finally calm down. And yet you might even get your energy back. Isn't that cool? See, God's food satisfies. Man's food, it keeps you stuck. You've heard me say this before, but your theology cannot outperform your biology. You can pray all day, but if you're feeding God's temple ultra processed man made drugs disguised as food that are stripped of nearly every nutrient that He put there in the first place, your body is going to struggle. God designed our food to be a blueprint for our body. So when our nutrition is right, everything else gets clearer. Your mind, your energy, your prayer life, your purpose, and your mood swings, they may calm down a bit too. So now that you understand this shift, you understand why the old tools that you probably shouldn't have been using don't work now. You understand that your body is starving for real nutrition. Let me give you the tools that actually change everything. 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20 says that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, that's where this name comes from. That command doesn't come with an expiration date. It doesn't say your body is his temple until menopause. In fact, I'd argue that this season is where stewardship might matter the most for you, because this is when your body really needs you to not only show up, but slow down. Strength training is not a worldly pursuit of vanity. It is a spiritual act of stewardship. It is the single most effective tool that God has given you to counteract every single thing changing in your body during menopause. Study after study shows this. Resistance training is the most effective intervention tool for menopause related muscle loss and metabolic decline that you have. Here's what it does. It actually rebuilds the muscle that you're losing, assuming you're eating enough protein. That means that your metabolism is not dropping anymore. It's actually starting to raise back up. We actually see that when women strength train and get enough protein, the metabolism doesn't drop until about 60. Isn't that crazy? That's the opposite of everything everybody's telling you. See, strength training raises your metabolism so that your body burns fuel again at rest instead of storing it. It improves your insulin sensitivity so that key starts working again. And it protects your bones, which is critical because osteoporosis risk skyrockets after menopause. Strength training directly reverses the entire chain. Every single link in that chain that I showed you earlier, strength training directly addresses it. And I want to say this again. Strength training is an insulin sponge. And the more muscle you have, the more your hormones will balance. This isn't about chasing the body that you had at 25. It's about building the body that you need for the calling that God has on your life right now. It's about having the strength to serve, the energy to be present with your family, and the health to finish your race well. So here's what I want you to do. This is really simple. It's not overwhelming. You can start it today. Number one, start strength training 2, 3, even 4 times a week. You don't need a gym, though I do recommend one. You're not going to become a bodybuilder. You don't need to worry about getting bulky here. So don't worry about that. Start with body weight if you don't have weights. Body weight squats, push-ups on your knees if you need to, lunges, use a chair for stability, planks. Now, if you have dumbbells or bands, let's use those too. And if you have access to a gym, that's awesome. The goal here is to challenge your muscles, consistency over intensity. And remember, take rest breaks. I'm not talking about the 15-second breaks that you were taught on your workout videos or in burn boot camp. I'm talking about 30 seconds to 2 to 3 minutes if you're lifting heavy. Show up and do this 3 to 4 times a week, and your body will respond. I promise you. Number 2, protein and fiber at every meal. This is back to the PF formula. Every time you eat, ask yourself, where's my protein? Where's my fiber? This will not only rebuild your muscle and keep you from losing it, but it'll stabilize your blood sugar, help your gut health, and address the nutrient deficiencies that are driving your crazies, that are driving your cravings and keeping your mood going crazy. God food at every meal, lean meats, real fruits, real vegetables. Number 3, walk. I'm serious right now. Don't kill yourself with cardio. Just walk. Bare minimum 6,000 steps a day. The average American only gets 3 to 4,000. Getting to 6,000 will reduce your risk of all-cause mortality by 50%. Just like that. Walking lowers your cortisol and improves your insulin sensitivity. It supports your mood, but it doesn't trigger your body to think you're attacking it. It actually builds you up and helps you manage stress. Pro tip, real quick, walk for 10 minutes after every meal. This will aid your digestion. It will instantly help regulate your blood sugar. And if you do it at night, you will sleep so much better. Tip number 4, prioritize sleep. I know this is hard in this season. You've got hot flashes, night sweats, your brain won't stop. But sleep is when your body repairs your muscle, regulates your hormones, and processes stress. This lack of sleep that you have is what's actually driving a lot of your cravings during the day, too. Rest is not laziness. Rest is worship. I'm going to say that again. Listen to me. Rest is worship. It's trusting God to work on your behalf, that He's got it. So do what you can. Cool room, no screens before bed, magnesium before sleep. Remember, obedience is your job. The outcome is His. If you're a woman who's been feeling discouraged in this season, if you've been blaming yourself, if you've been thinking, it's too late, I'm stuck, I'm never going to lose this weight, I need you to hear me. You are not alone. It is not too late, and your body is not broken, and you are not hopeless. I've walked hundreds of women through this exact same seasons. I've seen women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even their 70s completely transform not just their bodies, but their energy, their confidence, their relationship with God and food. If this video helped you, share it with another woman who needs to hear it. Tag her, send it to her. You might be the reason she stops blaming herself today or avoids this entire cycle in the future. If you're ready to stop guessing and start stewarding your body with strength and purpose, if you want accountability in a community of women walking this out together, check out the Temple Keeper Academy. I'm going to drop a link to our 7-day free trial in the show notes. If you're ready to go all in, and I mean all in, no excuses. If you want me to look at your blood work, write your nutrition plan, write your workouts, help you work through the junk and get over the noise in your head, identify exactly what's going on in your body, and build a custom plan for you, you can apply for one-on-one coaching today. I'll review your labs. I'll write your plan. I'll tell you the why behind why you're feeling the way you're feeling, even though the doctor says everything's normal. And I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to drop the link for the application in the show notes as well. And remember, subscribe if you haven't. We get to the root here and we honor God with everything we do. Listen, I love you and I'll see you next time.